Breaking today, Meghan Markle's fashion freeze-out. She has been dumped by Balenciaga just 1 year after she thought, this "I'm going to invite myself" appearance at Paris Fashion Week was going to change her career for good.
Meghan Markle made her Paris Fashion Week debut, and there was this awkward interaction with the Balenciaga creative director. Let's look at this.
The Duchess of Despair and Endless Grievance was nominated for a Daytime Emmy Award for her unwatchable Netflix series with Love, Meghan.
Let's have a look at Meghan Markle being weird and inauthentic. Here she is swanning around like she's Queen Cersei in Game of Thrones and
constant debate no matter what she does. For Meghan Markle, that question has followed almost every major career move since stepping back from royal duties alongside Prince Harry. Every new project, every public appearance, every interview, and every business announcement seems to spark two completely different reactions. Supporters see someone trying to build an independent life outside the royal family. Critics see a celebrity whose public image has struggled to recover from years of controversy.
The Dragon Slayer lost his case against the Mail, and Meghan Markle, you reveal exclusively, completely rejected by the fashion world. And this has got to hurt Paula, because 9 months ago, this was meant to be the reinvention of Meghan Markle, the end of Was Never, and the start of this dream that she had of transferring into high fashion. Not going to happen, you say?
And over the past several months, that debate has become even louder. From Hollywood to the fashion industry, from entertainment headlines to royal commentary shows, Meghan's name has remained firmly in the spotlight. But unlike previous years, many of the conversations have focused less on what she's planning next, and more on whether her influence is changing.
It's a marketing campaign, as is everything, as is all of their awards, whatnot. You know, it's almost as if Harry has turned into a professional award winner. And Emmys are quite easy to get nominated for, to be fair, as long as you've got the money, or the production house has the money, or Netflix has the money to promote it to the marketing. It's a very opaque process.
That's the question we'll explore today. Because when you step back from the social media arguments and look at the bigger picture, a fascinating story begins to emerge. One that's about celebrity, branding, expectations, and the challenge of reinventing yourself while millions of people are watching every move. And it all begins with fashion.
Whose own husband looked like it was a hostage situation when she finally dragged him out for like the final episode. I think Tom Colicchio was in it, and Tom looked visibly uncomfortable at their quote unquote banter. When Harry dared to say that like her mother's gumbo was better than Meghan's or something like that, you know, and he knew that was going to get her. He knew it.
For months, entertainment outlets and celebrity commentators speculated that Meghan was entering a new phase of her public career. Instead of focusing primarily on documentaries, interviews, or podcasts, attention shifted toward luxury brands, lifestyle ventures, and fashion. The timing made sense. Fashion has long been one of the most influential industries for global celebrities. A single successful partnership with a major luxury house can reshape a public image almost overnight. Hollywood stars, athletes, musicians, and even business leaders regularly use fashion collaborations to introduce themselves to entirely new audiences.
She pinned her hopes on this being the house. Now, our understanding 9 months ago, Paula, and I certainly reported at the time, that she had tried lots and lots of different fashion houses, but Balenciaga was the one. Yet, as usual, and this reminds me a bit like when she did the guest edit of Vogue with Edward Enninful back in her time within the royal family. Anytime she gets close to that world, she manages to be so repulsive in her behavior. All of these fashion types, and let's be honest, Paula, I mean, they are up their own arse. They are. You know, I can't really deal with fashion types, but they are repulsed by her behavior, and they will not put up with it.
Naturally, many commentators wondered whether Meghan might follow a similar path. Those discussions intensified around major fashion events in Europe, where speculation began to circulate about which celebrities would appear, which designers they might support, and whether new partnerships could emerge. As always, social media filled in the gaps long before any official announcements arrived. Some posts claimed Meghan would make a major appearance. Others predicted an important collaboration. Still others dismissed those rumors entirely. In reality, very little was officially confirmed.
And the funniest thing is that she really thought this was going to be yet another reinvention. It would really help her one-off, and she knew one-off was coming. But the thing is she sucked all the oxygen out of the room. Her behavior was so bizarre. She showed up to the original, his debut show. This was Pier Paolo's first show for Balenciaga. It was a very big deal. She showed up late. Now, number one, you don't show up late, but you definitely don't show up late when Anna Wintour shows up half an hour early.
Yet the speculation itself became part of the story. That's something unique about today's celebrity culture. Sometimes the expectations surrounding an event generate almost as much attention as the event itself. When expectations rise, every appearance or absence gets analyzed. And that's exactly what happened. When one of the season's biggest couture shows took place, entertainment reporters quickly noticed which high-profile celebrities were in attendance. The front row included internationally recognized actors, performers, and fashion figures. Photographs from the event spread across news websites within minutes. Commentators immediately began discussing who was there. And just as importantly, who wasn't. Soon afterward, online speculation exploded. Some royal commentators argued Meghan's absence reflected changing relationships inside the fashion world. Others responded that celebrities skip events for countless reasons and that reading too much into a single appearance isn't always justified.
One Meghan Markle, who out of nowhere, alights in Paris like the second fucking coming. I mean, she is swathed in white on cream on white like she's the Messiah. And over she went to the Balenciaga show. And never forget, Balenciaga came under heavy fire 2 years ago for an advertisement that we are showing here. This is a full-on ad, not for a high fashion house, but for pedophilia. This was a holiday ad campaign launched by Balenciaga in November 2022, featuring a small child holding up a teddy bear dressed in bondage gear.
Without official confirmation from those involved, many of those claims remain speculative. Still, the conversation refused to disappear. Instead, it grew. As more opinion pieces appeared, attention shifted back to previous public appearances and long-running debates about celebrity etiquette. In the fashion industry, timing, presentation, and first impressions matter enormously. Arriving on schedule, respecting event protocols, and keeping the focus on the designers are traditions that many insiders consider essential.
So cringe to watch, isn't it? So awkward. But fans are slamming Meghan for this, calling her the Duchess of Hypocrisy for attending Balenciaga's show, seeing as there was a lot of controversy around this brand and an ad that was seen as quite creepy that involved children.
That's right. So the ads were very creepy. They were offensive, actually, more than creepy, I think. And they were children posing with teddy bears in bondage gear. And Balenciaga's brand was in the toilet almost overnight, really.
Over time, various media reports and commentators revisited stories surrounding earlier fashion events involving Meghan. Some questioned whether media attention had become too focused on celebrity guests instead of the collections themselves. Others argued that those stories had been exaggerated by critics looking for another reason to attack her. That split has become increasingly familiar. Nearly every discussion involving Meghan now follows the same pattern. One side views the criticism as evidence of declining influence. The other sees it as proof that every move she makes receives disproportionate scrutiny. Whatever your opinion,
this is not an accident. To get Meghan Markle to Paris, she flew in first class, she stayed at a 5-star hotel, she had security with her, she had her own hair and makeup team waiting for her in Paris. It could have cost around about $800,000, $900,000, maybe $1 million to just get her there. I've worked in the fashion business. Having somebody that's a huge star on the front row is very important. These celebrities often get paid by brands. They certainly get their transportation covered. So to get Meghan there was a big deal. They wanted her. She wanted to go because now she has dreams of becoming a fashion ambassador. She would love to have a $10, $20 million campaign from a fashion house, let's be honest.
There's little doubt that public perception has become one of the biggest challenges facing both Meghan and Prince Harry. Because perception shapes headlines, headlines shape conversations, and conversations often shape opportunities. That's especially true in Hollywood. Unlike many industries, entertainment relies heavily on public image. Studios, brands, streaming platforms, and advertisers constantly evaluate audience reactions before investing in future projects. Success isn't measured only by viewership. It's also measured by reputation, audience engagement, and long-term commercial potential.
Anna Wintour is kind of seen as the period on the end of the sentence. Nothing comes after Anna. So she sat down and everyone just sat there and waited and waited. And finally, Meghan waltzes in and with her head held high as if she's royalty and stops, does all the photos, all of this, and makes it even later, then sits down, proceeds to giggle as a model trips on the runway. She was quickly silenced by her good friend Marcus.
Over the past few years, Meghan has expanded into podcasts, documentaries, lifestyle content, and business ventures. Some projects attracted significant attention simply because of who she is. Others received mixed reactions from critics and viewers. Most recently, her lifestyle programming generated another wave of online discussion. Supporters praised its relaxed style and focus on home, cooking, and entertaining. Critics questioned whether it felt authentic or connected with broader audiences. As reviews appeared, social media amplified every opinion. Positive clips circulated among supporters. Negative clips spread just as quickly among critics.
I believe that this is the exchange that cinched Meghan that difficult to win Nerve Award 2025. Here is Mindy Kaling, also insufferable for other reasons. We'll get to her at some point. Mindy Kaling looking starry-eyed, almost starstruck with Meghan in the kitchen and trying to make Meghan Markle seem a little bit relatable. And you know, if there's one thing Meghan Markle does not want to seem, despite the ostensible premise of this show that Netflix just canned, binned, tossed in the garbage this year, it's this exchange. Here we go.
Before long, the conversation surrounding the show became almost as prominent as the show itself. And that highlights perhaps the biggest challenge facing Meghan today. She's no longer judged only by what she creates. She's judged by what people already believe about her before they press play. That creates an unusually difficult environment for any public figure. Every interview becomes a headline. Every comment becomes a debate. Every public appearance becomes another test of public opinion. Whether that's fair or not is something viewers continue to argue about. But there's another dimension to this story that may be even more significant.
No, I think he has made a smart move, although it was a very, I would say, unwise move to have her in the first place. I mean, Paula, people should never forget that she used that moment to very obviously, I think, stoke the deep emotional trauma still suffered by her husband, and also attempt to create all of the wrong headlines by purposefully posting on Instagram her in a car on a Saturday night, driving very near the tunnel where Princess Diana was killed. I believe she also attempted to create a paparazzi chase that didn't happen, but she desperately wanted to happen because that's why she was so obvious in the way that she came in and out of the hotel.
Because while Hollywood debates image, the royal family continues moving forward with its own schedule of public events. And that's where the comparisons become impossible to ignore. While debates about Meghan's public image continued in the entertainment world, Prince Harry found himself facing an entirely different set of headlines. Unlike the early years after stepping back from royal duties, when interviews and major media deals dominated the news, the conversation has increasingly shifted toward legal battles, public perception, and questions about the couple's long-term direction. For many royal commentators, that's a significant change. Just a few years ago, almost every announcement from the Sussexes generated worldwide excitement. Streaming deals, publishing contracts, high-profile interviews, award appearances. There was a sense that anything connected to Harry and Meghan would dominate the news cycle.
And surely, Paula, given the headlines that created, Balenciaga must have looked at that behavior as well and thought this has a negative impact on our brand.
Well, they learned, as many other brands and people have learned, that unfortunately when doing business with Meghan, there's no attention for anyone else but Meghan. And it is almost always negative. Now, a lot of people assumed that because she has a high Q rating and everyone knows who she is, that it would get them a lot of attention and the PR would rub off on them. Unfortunately, it is all negative, and people don't buy the products that she shills. They want to see her and read about her.
Today, however, the atmosphere feels noticeably different. The headlines haven't disappeared, but the tone has changed. Increasingly, commentators are asking whether the couple's biggest challenge isn't attracting attention. It's changing the conversation, because attention and popularity aren't always the same thing. One recent example illustrates that perfectly. Meghan's lifestyle series became one of the most discussed celebrity shows online. Depending on where you looked, reactions couldn't have been more different. Supporters praised its calm presentation, polished visuals, and focus on cooking, gardening, and home life. They argued that not every television series needs to be dramatic or groundbreaking to find an audience. Critics, however, saw things differently. Many questioned whether the series felt authentic. Others argued that the format didn't offer anything particularly new in an already crowded lifestyle market.
I'm Sussex now. I'm Sussex now. You fuckwit! Oh my God, she's fucking insufferable. If you would like some real entertainment, may I direct you to a little spoof called, I believe it was called With Love, Meghan with a Y. And that is Megyn Kelly and I spoofing that entire enterprise. Meghan played Meghan, and I played the role of quote unquote the friend, the hostage. Really, that was fun. We blocked out the whole day for it, and we knocked that shit out in like 2 hours, and it was all ad-libbed. Do we get recognition from the Academy? No. Now, a few other of the esteemed nominees at the Daytime Emmy Awards. We cannot wait. As discussed, The Nerve is going to do our second Emmy red carpet live stream, but that's for the primetime Emmys. Or the Emmy Awards that air in primetime. I don't even know the difference anymore. Again, it's so irrelevant.
Professional reviews were similarly mixed, with some appreciating the production quality, while others felt the show struggled to establish a clear identity. As often happens with high-profile celebrities, the online discussion quickly became bigger than the program itself. Individual clips began circulating across social media. Short moments were edited, reposted, and debated thousands of times. Among the most widely discussed was Meghan's conversation with actress Mindy Kaling. During the exchange, Meghan corrected the way Mindy referred to her, saying, "I'm Sussex now." Supporters interpreted the moment as a simple clarification about how she prefers to be addressed. Critics viewed it as awkward and unnecessary.
Oh, yes, that was awkward. Let's have another look at it.
The clip spread rapidly across platforms, generating countless reaction videos, opinion pieces, and commentary. Within days, what had been a brief exchange became one of the defining talking points surrounding the series. That's the reality of modern celebrity culture. Sometimes a 10-second clip attracts more attention than an entire television season. And once a narrative takes hold online, changing it becomes incredibly difficult. The same pattern has followed Harry and Meghan for years. Every interview, every speech, every public appearance, every business announcement. Supporters and critics often reach completely different conclusions after watching exactly the same event. That level of polarization is unusual, even by celebrity standards.
Accepting an award as Humanitarian of the Year on Thursday for protecting children online. She shouldn't be promoting a brand accused of predatory behavior. How are you protecting children when you are promoting a brand that was accused of inappropriate behavior towards them? And it wasn't just the teddy bear ad. There was their spring 2023 campaign included props referencing a U.S. Supreme Court case on images of minors, along with disturbing artwork and books. So I think, to promote this brand that combines children with adult themes, who is guiding this woman? Who is working with this woman? Because you certainly wouldn't see the Princess of Wales engaging with any company accused of such behavior.
But while online debates continued, another story was unfolding across the Atlantic. The royal family remained focused on its official calendar. State visits, charity engagements, military ceremonies, national commemorations, public appearances by senior working royals continued to dominate traditional news coverage in the United Kingdom. Whenever Prince William and Princess Catherine appeared at major events, newspapers naturally compared those images with Harry and Meghan's activities in California. Whether fair or unfair, those comparisons became a recurring feature of royal reporting. One weekend might feature Catherine receiving enthusiastic public attention during a sporting event. The next would feature headlines about Harry responding to questions surrounding legal matters or ongoing disputes. Royal commentators often describe this as a contrast between two very different public roles. William and Catherine continue representing the monarchy through official engagements. Harry and Meghan are building careers as independent public figures outside the institution.
Now, the Duchess of Sussex is also facing a backlash for posting a video of herself riding in a limo with her feet up near the Parisian tunnel where Princess Diana died. Kinsey, is that criticism a little bit unfair?
Well, look, this is the same woman that tells us she's Diana 2.0. Shouldn't she be aware of something like this? Also, this is the same town that her mother-in-law passed away in. Prince Harry says it was due to paparazzi, and Meghan's literally chasing these flashbulbs throughout the city. And then, she's 1 mile away in that video from where Princess Diana, had her last breath, lost her life. I think it is insensitive, and I think she tries to sell us on the fact that she, is so compassionate, so empathetic. She takes the everyday things and makes them special because it puts that much more thought into it. Well, how about having some thought towards your husband's feelings when you're in the same city his mom died in, running around, having a joyride in Paris near where she lost her life? If she didn't try to paint herself as Diana 2.0, I would say, you guys, this is a stretch.
Yeah.
But she's constantly telling us that she's the new Diana.
Neither path is necessarily easy, but each comes with very different expectations. And those expectations shape public opinion. For Harry, one of the biggest stories in recent years has been his legal challenge regarding security arrangements in the United Kingdom. The issue attracted widespread media attention because it touched on questions of personal safety, public funding, and the responsibilities that accompany stepping away from official royal duties. After the courts reached their decision, reactions were once again divided. Supporters expressed disappointment and argued that Harry's concerns deserved greater consideration. Critics responded that the ruling reflected established legal principles and existing government policy. Whatever someone's perspective, the case ensured that Harry remained in the headlines for weeks. It also reignited broader conversations about the couple's relationship with the royal family. Would relations improve? Would communication increase? Could there eventually be some form of reconciliation? Those questions continue to appear whenever new reports emerge. The challenge, however, is separating confirmed information from speculation.
Everything she's done financially, and maybe even everything, period, has not worked out. They need money. The money is running out. They live as if they are royalty in Montecito, and that money is not coming in anymore. Harry's book made a lot of money. He inherited a lot of money from his grandmother and also too from his great-grandmother. So there's money there. Don't feel boo-hoo for them. They have a great life. But the life that they want, they need to earn money. Meghan is really, really being pushy here to try and get a campaign.
Anonymous sources often make dramatic claims. Commentators offer competing interpretations. Social media fills the remaining gaps with theories of its own. As a result, even relatively straightforward developments can become surrounded by rumors within hours. That's why public perception has become such an important part of this story. Not because every rumor is true, but because repeated speculation influences how many people interpret future events. For Meghan, that means every business venture is viewed through the lens of previous controversies. For Harry, it means every public appearance is measured against expectations shaped by his royal past.
And even the people who say they don't, they do, because it's all schadenfreude. But at the same time, they do not want to buy those products that are associated with her. So he definitely got Sussexed in that respect.
I just love Marcus Anderson thinking, You
Yes.
stupid cow! Like, how many times have I told you don't be a bitch in public with the cameras on you? Like, his face there is just absolute abject horror.
Whether they launch a new initiative, attend an event, or release a statement, the discussion rarely begins with a blank slate. Instead, audiences often arrive with opinions already formed. Some remain loyal supporters, others remain deeply skeptical. Very few people seem undecided. And that may be the greatest challenge of all, because rebuilding a public image isn't only about creating successful projects. It's about convincing audiences to look at those projects with fresh eyes. That's much harder when every headline is filtered through years of existing debate. Still, despite the criticism, Harry and Meghan continue pursuing new opportunities. The question now isn't whether they'll remain in the public eye, it's whether they can reshape the narrative that has followed them for so long. And that brings us to perhaps the biggest question of all. What happens next?
And I think, had this not so spectacularly exploded on Meghan, she might have got one. They at first enjoyed all the press. The fashion houses loved all the coverage, but then the Diana card was played by Meghan. It was a self-inflicted wound. To think you can be in Paris, of all cities, Paris, and drive past a tunnel, the tunnel, where Princess Diana tragically died, and to be blissfully unaware of that.
Do you think she was unaware? Do you think
hope so.
this Diana cosplayer, this Diana vision board maker?
I hope so, because if this wasn't an accident, if this was on purpose, then the judgment, the just the character, the moral fiber is outrageous. If she's willing to use Princess Diana's death as a way to sell a brand, or really it's not a brand, she's selling herself. If she's willing to do that, then all bets are off.
Can the Sussexes reinvent themselves once again, or has public opinion settled into patterns that will be difficult to change? Those questions become even more important when money, commercial partnerships, and long-term influence enter the picture. Because in today's celebrity world, reputation isn't just about headlines, it's a business asset. And when that asset comes under pressure, every future opportunity becomes harder to secure. That's where the next chapter of this story begins. So where does all of this leave Meghan Markle and Prince Harry? After years of interviews, documentaries, business ventures, and headline-making moments, one thing is impossible to ignore. They remain two of the most talked about public figures in the world. Whether the coverage is positive or negative, people continue to watch, discuss, and debate almost everything they do.
I think as a father himself, he probably understands a little bit, but I think he's also taking a wait and see approach because, again, as we just discussed, we don't know what was said. It could have been a knock it off, Harry kind of moment. A lot of people are saying, oh no, it's part of this Project Thaw, which I don't necessarily believe in. And I think either way, it looks good for William because the people who are upset that King Charles met with Harry are really angry at Charles and calling him weak and calling for William to stand up sooner rather than later.
That's both a strength and a challenge. In today's media landscape, attention is valuable, but attention alone doesn't guarantee long-term success. For public figures, lasting influence often depends on trust, consistency, and the ability to connect with audiences over time. Those are qualities that can't be built overnight. And they're especially difficult to maintain when every decision is examined from every possible angle. For Meghan, the next few years could be crucial. She's continued to expand into lifestyle content, business ventures, and media production, signaling that she's committed to building a career beyond her royal title. Whether those projects become lasting successes will ultimately depend on how audiences respond, not just during launch week, but over the long term. The same applies to Prince Harry. His public identity has evolved significantly since stepping back from royal duties. He's spoken openly about issues ranging from mental health to military service and his experiences within the royal family. Supporters see those efforts as an attempt to use his platform for causes he believes in. Critics argue that repeated public disputes with the monarchy have overshadowed those messages. As always, opinions remain divided. Meanwhile, the royal family continues moving forward. King Charles III carries out his constitutional responsibilities. Prince William and Princess Catherine continue representing the monarchy at public engagements. And younger members of the family are gradually becoming more visible, reminding everyone that the institution itself continues to evolve. That ongoing contrast naturally fuels comparisons in the media. Some commentators see it as evidence that the monarchy has entered a new chapter. Others believe there's still room for reconciliation in the future. Only time will answer that question. History has shown that relationships within the royal family can change in unexpected ways. For now, though, the focus remains on what comes next. Will Harry and Meghan unveil another major media project? Will new business partnerships reshape public opinion? Or will the debate surrounding their public image continue to dominate every headline? No one knows for certain. What is certain is that the story is far from over. In a media environment where public opinion can shift overnight, today's headlines rarely become tomorrow's final chapter. Every interview, every appearance, every announcement has the potential to change the conversation all over again. That's why this remains one of the most closely followed stories involving the modern royal family, not because everyone agrees, but because almost everyone has an opinion. And as long as those opinions continue to collide, the headlines are unlikely to stop anytime soon. So, what do you think? Is Meghan Markle simply facing the normal ups and downs that come with being one of the world's most recognizable public figures? Or do you think public perception has genuinely shifted over the past few years? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more balanced coverage of the royal family, celebrity news, and the biggest stories making headlines around the world, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And if you're looking for another deep dive, click the video that's appearing on your screen right now. It explores another major royal story that's been making headlines and gives you the full background behind the debate. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.